there, it's Carol with Carol B Crafts. Today we'll be doing project number 4 in my Rooted in Nature online card class. The Rooted in Nature card class kit will be available through July 31st, 2018. You can get the details on how you can get your class kit absolutely free with a qualifying purchase on my website www.carolbcrafts.com. I'll be giving the dimensions as we go along, so if you don't have a class kit, then you can always follow along and make this card as well. If you see anything that you'd like to purchase while you're watching this video, please visit that website www.carolbcrafts.com and get the current host code, because when you use that host code you can earn custom rewards and you can even earn a free class kit from me. So let's look at the class kit for this card. You will receive everything you need to make that card. Some things, everything will be pre-cut for this card because there isn't any die cutting. So let's look and see what we do have. This card has the petal pink card base and some of the new Blackberry Bliss cardstock that has returned to us. And I am so glad that it has, because it is so pretty. I really love this color. So we have for our card base, let's go ahead and fold this over and score it and crease it. Get that out of the way. So next we have, what's going to go on top of that is our Blackberry Bliss panel, and it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then on top of that's going to be our beautiful petal pink and Blackberry Bliss DSP that's from the Nature's Poem DSP collection, and it is 5 1/4 by 4. That'll go on top of there. Then we have another, we actually have 2 more Blackberry Bliss pieces. Now this one goes on the inside, and it is so the larger one is going to be for your sentiment on the inside, and the larger one is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. So that's going to go on the inside, and then this one will go on the outside, and it's going to be 4 1/8 by 3 1/2. 4 1/8 by 3 1/2. That'll go there. Then we have some more petal pink cardstock. I give you 2 of each size. You only need 1, but you have extra one in case you have a problem with your stamping. The inside one, make sure I give you the inside one, is going to be 4 by 3 1/4, and I do give you 2. That's for the inside sentiment. And then for the tree on the outside is going to be 4 by 3, and I give you 2 of those. Now you will need your Stampin' or a stamping positioning tool. You could probably even use your you'll need a Stamparatus or Stampin' I get those two confused. It's going to take me a while to get used to saying Stamparatus, but if you're still using your Stampin' I think you could get by with using it on this card. But it's really better if you use one of the Stamparatus positioning tools. Okay, so this one is the Fresh Fig 1/8 inch sheer ribbon, and it's the Fresh Fig. Even though it's Fresh Fig, I think it still goes well with the Blackberry Bliss. And then we have a piece, did I tell you? That is 6 inches. It's going to go around the card here in the middle. And then our bow is going to be 8 inches. So those are the Fresh Fig ribbon. And inside you'll have these 3 little petal pink pearls. I think they're petal pink. They are from the Artisan Pearls, the Share What You Love Artisan Pearls, and these are they look like pink. They could be Grapefruit Grove, but they are close enough that they look like they could match, so I use those. So let's go ahead and do our stamping. So we'll need our pieces of petal pink, and put these away for now. Put our pearls and ribbon away. And then you do get an envelope, a very vanilla envelope. So just remember, the larger one is for our inside sentiment. So I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus, and we'll be using the Rooted in Nature stamps. I'm going to use To Thank You for All You Do and Words Are Never Enough. That's our sentiment stamps, so I'll get those. And then for our tree, we have this tree here. It's a beautiful tree, and it's a nice stamp. It's a nice image that it stamps. So those are our 3 stamps. So I'm going to place one of the stamp cases underneath my plastic to help me to give me a flatter surface. Now, I'm not using the bars for the Stamparatus. I have not had very much luck with them, and if you want to use them, please do. But I can't keep mine from smacking together. So I have some of the Tonic Studios magnets that you can get on eBay. Just search Tonic Studios magnets, and they come in a set of 2, and they're relatively inexpensive. And then I have 2 pieces of window sheets. I have a 4 by 6, and then I turned up the corner of this one here, but be careful not to cut your finger when you bend it back. And then I have a 6 by 6 sheet. Now, as I've used my Stamparatus, I've learned a few things. So I'm going to be doing those little things and showing you what I've learned. First of all, the hinge here is high, so high that if you try to use even the rubber stamps, it's hard to get a nice even image, especially near the edge, but even in the middle. So I have watched some videos, and I've come up with a combination of solutions. I'm using a piece of magnetic sheeting that is from this is ProMag is the brand, ProMag, and a magnetic adhesive sheet. Now, they sell other magnetic things where you can put a picture on it or you can color on it, but be sure you just get the magnetic adhesive sheet if you want to do this. And this is, so I cut a piece of chipboard, which actually came in one of my packs of cardstock, or not cardstock, paper. I don't remember which pack, but cardstock, you'll also get it if you purchase, I think if you purchase the window sheets, it comes in a it comes with chipboard. So I just checked, and yes, the window sheet does come with chipboard, but it's a little thinner than this chipboard. So you want something that's a little thick but not too thick. And you can purchase chipboard too as well. So yeah, this one is not quite an 1/8, but a little more than a 1/16. So that's how thick this is. So the reason I have the adhesive magnetic sheeting is because it helps to maintain that that magnetic hold. It gives you enough lift, but it still maintains that magnetic hold. Alright, so that's my little tips. The other tip is, you'll see in just a moment, we're going to go ahead, let's do the front first, which is the smaller piece, and we can just put that here, kind of in the center, and put our magnets in place. Now this tree, you just need to be sure you leave room for Words Are Never Enough. and then you need to have room for your ribbon. So as long as you remember those things. And this part of the tree is kind of straight, so you can actually just use that. You don't even have to use your Stampin' type of system, which I'll show you in just a minute. So we'll just go ahead, once you get your tree in place, this part is kind of straight with the edge, and you have room for your ribbon and your other sentiment. You're going to go ahead, put our plastic sheets away for right now, and pick that up. And I think I might need to brush this off a little bit. I see some specks on there. I just have a regular brush here that I use. Natural bristle brush, and we're going to be using Blackberry Bliss ink, and this is a beautiful color. Like I said, I like the ink, I like the cardstock, so we're going to just pat that, get it inked up really good. Now this stamp has dimensions, so it's going to be like, it's going to look like it's stamped, it's inked up better in some spots than others, but you do want to get those like distant leaves, you want to get those inked as well as the front. So I'm using kind of the corner here and getting in there and inking that up really good. So it might look like it's not well inked, but it really is, because that's how you get that dimension look, is that some of the ink is lighter than some of the other ink. The ink in the foreground is darker than the ink in the background, if that makes sense. Okay, so we'll see what image we have. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to stamp it twice to get a nice rich image. Yep, I think I do, but that's okay. That's why I'm using my Stamparatus, so that I can do that. And another thing about cardstock, the colored cardstock seems to act as a sponge and soak up the ink. So whenever you use a colored cardstock, you just about have to do at least 2 stampings to get a really rich image. Okay, I think that's good enough. So let me clean that stamp off. Okay, so now we want to do Words Are Never Enough. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to first, like I do with my Stampin' I'll go ahead and put something in to hold that in the corner there. I am going to get my 4x6. I got it in the ink. Put my bent corner here closest to me and put this in the corner with something to hold it in place. And then I'm going to put my Words Are Never Enough near the edge of the plastic, but not over the plastic. Kind of get it straight. Doesn't have to be, because I'm going to be able to reposition the paper underneath. I can see that is wet from where I wiped it off. I don't want to get my paper wet. Okay, get that back in the corner. So first we're going to make our image, and that's going to be with our Blackberry Bliss. Stamp up our Words Are Never Enough, and stamp on our plastic. Now we can sneak this in here and move it around a little bit. I might move this one here just because it's easier. And remember, we want to leave room for our, now because of this, I think what I'm going to do, it's anytime I have something I can't I don't have anything down here to hold on to, I usually put this on a piece of scrap paper. So I'll put just a little bit of adhesive on here. Be careful not to get it in your words are never enough. And I should have done this before, sorry. And so this will give me something to maneuver with. So words are never enough. And that looks pretty straight. Let me make sure that I have room for my ribbon. Okay, that looks good. It looks really good. So now I'm going to put magnets on this, on my slider paper. I'm going to remove that, remove this, and then put these like each other, don't they? Just pull them apart like that. They slide together. As hard as I try, I can never get my magnets to not do that. Okay, so let me just check and make sure it's still looking good. Okay, that looks good. So now I'm going to ink up my sentiment again. And don't overdo the ink. You don't really need to overdo the ink. Light pressure. If you press too hard, your letters will squish. And you don't want squished looking letters. And that looks good. I might just lightly, very lightly, ink again. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so that's our front sentiment. Now we're going to do our inside sentiment. And we'll do the same thing. Let's wipe off our plastic sheet, our 4x6 plastic, and dry it off. Just using like a microfiber wipe, like what you use for your eyeglasses. And I'm going to put that in place with the corner here facing us. Let's get our magnet sheet back in the corner there. Now change our sentiment, and now we're going to use to thank you for all you do. We're going to put it towards the edge like that and pick it up. Now this time I'm going to show you a different method that I found. The 6x6 piece of plastic, we're going to put, instead of adhering it to paper like we did here, we're going to adhere it to this plastic, and you can decide which you like best. So I'm showing you both. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive here on the sides, adhere it to that plastic sheet. Now the plastic sheet is good because it will adhere, but it will also come off a little easier than with the paper. So we'll go ahead and stamp our image to thank you for all you do with Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to stamp that, and then we're going to bring in our plastic sheet over here, and wherever you want to put it, if you want to leave room to write something, you could put it up high. If you just want to put it kind of here where you just want to sign your name, I like to put it right about there. So I'll put these in place. Then I'm going to remove this plastic. Try to keep these apart this time because they really like each other. There. So now I'm going to ink up my stamp again. Put down my image, and I think I will ink it one more time. Looks like it's a little off center this way, but that's okay. no problem. There, so now we've got our stamping done. So I'll clear away all of this. Oh, well, I wanted to show you, when you're taking this off the plastic, just roll your plastic like that and it'll come off. And then instead of pulling, you want to twist it off like that. If there's any adhesive left, you can always rub it off with your finger. So you can decide whether you like the paper or the plastic. The paper works fine too. In some ways, you just have to be careful when you take it off. Okay, so we have our stamping. Let me clear this away. Okay, so I brought everything in. Find your smaller piece of Blackberry Bliss, and then this is going to go on your smaller piece of Blackberry Bliss. There's going to be like a 1/16 of an inch all around. So we'll go ahead and put that in place. And then this is going to go on the bigger piece of Blackberry Bliss. So that's our inside sentiment, and it's going to go on the inside of our card. So let's do our card base, and this is going to go on top of our large piece of Blackberry Bliss, and then this will go on top of our card base. Now before we put our words are never enough, we want to put our ribbon on, and that'll be the smaller ribbon. It's going to go around the, like this. That's the 6-inch ribbon, and we'll put some adhesive here, about an inch of adhesive here where we know the ribbon's going to come around, so it has something to stick into. See, is there a side that looks better? I like that side better. Check and make sure it looks the same on both sides. It's a little higher on this side. I can fix that. Okay, that looks good. Now this is going to go on the front with some, looks like I used regular dimensionals. It's hard to tell. Let me see. Yes, I used the regular dimensionals, I guess because it's such a big piece. Okay, so that's how I put mine on there. Now I'll pull all those little tabs off. And then this is just going to go centered on the inside, on the front here. Hopefully I can get it centered here really well, relatively well. And check it before I push it down. Looks a little high over here. And that's good. And then we're going to put our bow on. Okay, so you can do the ribbon two ways. You can do the 2 loops and you can cross it over like that and push it through and then put it on with a glue dot, or you can slip it under here and with this on your left, do a loop. Wrap this around, leave enough to make a nice loop here. Wrap it around and push that through like you would tie your shoe, kind of, and do your bow that way. So either one will work. You just need to decide which one you like. It's a kind of a small bow, so we'll pull it small. Okay, I think that looks about right. And then this one looks a little bit longer on that side. There. Then I'm going to trim the tail, the ends of the ribbon, with a slant. Let's put the inside sentiment on, just on the inside. Okay, and then our 3 little pearls are just going to go up here in the corner, and it's nice if you have the piercing tool. Just pick them up. Put the first one here on the end, and then the next one next to it, and then the next one next to that. And there's our 3 pearls. Alright, so you are finished with card number 4 in the Rooted in Nature online class. And I hope that you'll stay tuned for, I'm actually doing an A and a B class. This was the A class. I'll have another B class opening up mid-July with another 4 cards from Rooted in Nature. So I hope you'll check that out as well. Thanks for watching, and check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com. Bye now.